Hello, this is the Change Your Life podcast. My name is Dwight Gillespie. We welcome you here at Change Your Life. Please, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification button so you know when we release our videos. We do release every Sunday, pretty much without fail, because I don't take care of it. Walter does, and he's pretty good about it too. Also, please go ahead and share this with your friends. If you like it, comment if you don't. If you want to just tell me what I am, and that's pretty cool. It won't be the first time I heard it. Anyway, not even the first time today. Today, we're going to be doing a podcast today called Making the Abnormal Normal, right? Go figure. And basically what we mean by that is, we have these things. I have these things I want to do in my life, right? I've been in recovery for a while, so I quit doing drugs. In fact, Walter, what's today? Today is the 12th. I quit smoking exactly 10 years and 2 days ago. And when I quit smoking, I was smoking 2.5 packs of cigarettes a day, which is a pretty decent habit, I got to tell you. And I was spending, God knows how much money on cigarettes, like almost $200 a week, I guess, $150, $200. When I quit, they were $13 a pack, I want to say, in downtown Brooklyn where I was working. And anyway, so making the abnormal normal, what is that? Well, my normal used to be getting up, eating 8 Percocets or snorting a couple bags of dope, depending on what I had, smoke a cigarette right away. Like I would grab for my cigarettes before my eyes were open, right? And I gotta get the day going. Yeah. Have a cup of coffee because I was doing so much heroin and Percocet and stuff like that. Taking it was always a crapshoot. No pun intended, right? That was just a happy coincidence, folks. But yeah, so but this was my day. This was my normal. That was my normal routine. I went to work. I went to work every day, which is really what fed my addiction because I'm like, I can't be an addict because I got a job. And it was a good job. It was a union job, thank God, because the union was like, well, we have pity. Because, a lot of things had led up to that. I lost my children in a car accident. Anybody who's been following my videos knows, my story pretty much. And people gave me a lot of leeway. Anyway, that's not part of what this video is. What this was my normal day. This was normal for me. Normal was not really seeing any customers, not doing my job well. I was not what you would call a stellar employee at that point. And that was normal. Abnormal to me was not smoking, not using drugs, eating better. And that was another, I didn't eat. I remember I used to eat these, they had these Hostess fruit squares. I don't know if you remember them. I don't know if I can mention Hostess, right? Whatever. And they were 50 cents. So it's like 20, I used to look at 25 cents a square, but they would never just sell me one square, right? And I would eat these things and I would say, rationalize in my head, I'm eating fruit. They're fruit squares. So I'm eating healthy, right? Because it's all I could afford. And they had these little, you can still get them. And I forget the brand, but they were little orange aid. It wasn't orange juice. It was orange aid, which basically meant it was orange water with a lot of sugar in it, right? And they were like 25 or 30 cents a piece too. So I could eat lunch for under $1 and have a lot more money for other things, because again, I smoked 2.5 packs of cigarettes a day and I did a lot of drugs. And people say, well, how much? I did as much money as I had and could steal. And that's how much drugs I did on a daily basis. So, what had to happen, and as I progressed in my recovery, different things have changed. And I came into recovery, and the most important thing really was just getting off of the drugs, was kicking dope and the opiates. And don't kid yourself if you say, well, I don't do heroin, I just take Percocets. Well, all that is a pill form of opium. That's exactly what that is. It's heroin in pill form, folks. And that's all, And so it's a habit, and you have a habit. If you don't think you have a habit, right? Here's your challenge: is go 48 hours without taking it, and tell me about the little beads of sweat that you get on your forehead while you start shivering in the middle of August, okay? And all of a sudden you got to like there's no tomorrow. You got to have it. And I'll tell you right now, you never have to use drugs again. And if you do have a habit, you can get help out there. There's a lot of places to go and get help. I highly recommend the 12-step program. I won't endorse any particular one. I go to one that deals particularly with drugs because I'm a drug addict and a recovering drug addict. Anyway, so as I progressed in my recovery, as I say, the first thing to do, the first abnormal I wanted to make normal was not using drugs, right? So it was normal to get up and take these drugs. I had to make it normal to get up and not take drugs and not reach for that pill canister and not, reach, because I didn't shoot though. I snorted dope, right? And not cut up like, whatever it was. That had to become my normal. And then as I progressed in my recovery, I had to quit smoking. I had double pneumonia at one point, right? And it was 10 years ago. I had double pneumonia. And I'm still trying to choke down a cigarette. I never forget it. It was the 10th of October, right? And because there's something wrong. My ex-wife, right? My second ex-wife, actually. Right now, ladies, I'm looking for the current next ex, Mrs. Gillespie. So if you're out there, I'll write you a check. We'll just dispense with all the bullshit in between. Anyway, she used to say, you have a broken brain. Like there's just something wrong with your brain. And anyway, to further that point, I wanted to smoke one more day, and I had double pneumonia. I was really sick, and I used to get this like twice a year. And whenever the weather started to change, mostly like it was fall and spring, these were the two times I'd get pneumonia because I worked outside. I had a job running cable outside, and I would just get sick as a dog. And I was bedridden, and I'm trying to smoke a cigarette, and it was my doctor. I'm telling him like I can't smoke, and he's like, no shit. Really? He said, like, what's the matter with you? I'm like, I'm going to quit, but I want to quit tomorrow because it was the 10th of October, 2012. I wanted my quit date to be 10, 11, 12 because it just seemed to make sense, right? So I'm sitting there on the 10th trying to smoke one more cigarette, and I couldn't even light the freaking thing. And it really upset me. So my smoking cessation date is 10, 10, 12. I could, like a punk, I just couldn't make it that one more day. But anyway, so that was the next thing that I had to make normal, because what had been normal to me is I wake up, have a cigarette, have a cigarette, phone rings, grab the cigarettes. Get in the car, grab the cigarettes. Like everything to me was associated with smoking. So what had to become a new normal to me, right? I had to make the abnormal the normal. And the normal had to become having a conversation without lighting a cigarette. The normal had to become pouring a cup of coffee. Look, and I got to tell you, 10 years off of cigarettes, morning coffee, still miss that cigarette, right? A lot of times they smell. I'm not one of those born again ex smoking. I hate that. That smells disgusting. No. Sometimes I'm like, But there's other times I smell it on people, and it's, I don't date people that smoke because I don't want to be around it, and that also became a normal. But these are hard things to do. I say that I got rid of my television, right? Because I had to make that normal. Like to me, normal was sitting in front of a television and just going down that rabbit hole, especially like I had a smart TV, right? It didn't seem so smart to me because it made me real stupid. You know what I mean? I would sit there and I put YouTube on there. And I call it the YouTube rabbit hole. And I would sit there watching the top 20 nail clippings of all time, like, who cares? I'm like, oh, look at that. Oh, he had really long nails. Oh, my God. And it's only a pinky, It's so amazing. I would watch people having their pimples popped. I'm not kidding. Oh, look at that. That's so soothing. It's not. It's ridiculous. Wood turning. Wood turning. And watch wood turning for 45 minutes. And I got to see what he's going to break the acrylic out now. I got to watch that. That was normal. And I love to read, but I wasn't reading. And I love books, right? And the books are just sitting there, and I'm like, I got to read that book right after this wood turning. Yeah, and I never would. So I had to get rid of the TV, and it's been gone for a while, and it's paid off. I'm doing things like this now, but it had to become a new normal. Like I had to find a new normal because it was normal to come home, plop myself down in front of the TV, turn it on, and boom, like a zombie, right? And my father used to call it the idiot box. It was, and you can't argue with the idiot box. You can't do anything. Like I haven't watched the news in over 10 years, and I'm proud of that too, because I don't care if you're left, right. I don't care what you are. The news sucks. And all they do is tell you that the other side is evil. And I don't care what the other side is. Left, right, it doesn't matter, it's evil. And I said, and the only control, I realized the only control I had over it, the only new normal to make for myself was click. I got rid of it. And that was it. And so it had to become normal to do other things, to eat my dinner and read a book instead of eat my dinner and watch TV, and you sit there, how many times can you watch reruns of Cheers or Seinfeld or whatever it is you're watching, oh my God, it's the same. I knew these things word for word. So I had to find a new normal. And I found new normals for myself all along the way. And we're going to be doing something, again, we've mentioned this a few times. We're going to be doing this 75 Hard. Andy Frisella, you can check out his podcast, a very good podcast, right? Andy Frisella is a good dude. And 75 Hard is a challenge. And I'm going to do this. I'm 59 and a half years old. And I'm going to do this. I've lost over the last year. In fact, today's the 12th, right? Yeah. I started exactly 1 year ago today. Oh, look at this. I started 1 year ago today. I started an eating plan. And I don't call it a diet because it's not. Because if I get off of it, like everybody says, diets don't work. All these people, you're fat phobic. Diets don't work. Don't shame me with your diets. Diets work. I don't care what you do. I've tried them all. You want to learn how to lose weight? Ask a fat person. They've done every freaking beep. I've done every diet there is. I've done Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Atkins, like you name it, the New Jersey diet, which is 600 calories a day. I was losing hair. My teeth were loose, but I look great, man. I'm losing weight. Felt like crap, right? So I found an eating system, something that I can live with and that I know that I can do. It had to become a new normal for me. My food had to become a new normal. I don't really go out much. I go out once a month. I go out and I eat well when I go out. I don't eat outside of my diet plan because when I do, I found out for me, I'm addicted to certain foods, sugar and flour. I'm addicted to them. I'm addicted. And I'll plug that too. Bright line eating. You want to learn how to be healthy again? Because this isn't about how I look. And I feel better. I know I look better, right? I've never been an Adonis. I'm not worried about that. But I know that I look better not carrying around so much weight. I know that I feel better. I'm off all my medications, right? I was on 2 heart medications. My doctor told me before I started this, and this is one of the part of the impetus for what I did was going to my doctor. It was the end of September last year. And he said, and I've known this man for 30 years. He's been my doctor. He's a good Dr. Roth, great guy. If you're in Kew Gardens, you need a doctor. I'm telling you, man, great guy. Anyway, and I told him, I says, I've known you 30 years. I can't bring myself to call you Alan. This is Alan Roth. Anyway, I had to find a new normal. But he said, Dwight, if you keep this up in 6 months, you're going to be on insulin. Like you're there. You're right at the borderline. You are pre-diabetic and you're going to be type 2 diabetic within the next 6 months if you keep this up. And that was enough between that and the heart. And I had knee replacement, looking at the other knee getting replaced. My hips were hurting. And as I was losing weight, it's funny because I'm down 90 pounds now, right? And as I'm losing the weight, I remember I lost 40 pounds and picking up the barbells and going, that's 40 pounds. Like, that's a lot of weight. And now it's 90. Like, I got to do a press. I got to pick up 90 pounds. And I was carrying this around with me. And I got into a thing on Quora. I don't know if you go on there, right? But I got into a thing with a young lady on there. You're fat phobic. And like, yeah, no, oh my God, I don't want to be called a name, right? Fat phobic, racist, transphobic, all this phobic stuff, right? I'm not really afraid of much. But I thought about that one and I said, well, she's right. I am scared to death to get fat again. And not because I think it's ugly or anything like that. I don't. And I don't put anybody down for the way they look. I think that's reprehensible to chide people for the way they look, right? But what it is the way that I feel. And I told her, this girl that I got into it with online, I said, you're under 40, probably under 35. Because under 35, that's fine. Your knees aren't hurting yet. You don't have rheumatoid arthritis yet. You're not diabetic yet. You don't need hip replacement yet. You wait. You wait till you're over 50 and then you give me that crap about being fat phobic. And I'm going to tell you something. You're going to change your tune. And it's easier to do it. Trust me. It's easier to do it in your 30s. But we're going to show you how to do it in your late 50s. I'm 59 and a half. I started this process at 58 and a half years old. 58 and a half years old. And I said, I'm going to change this. And I'm going to keep this weight off. Because as I said, this isn't, they say, oh, diets, they do work. Here's the caveat about diets, right? Diets work if you stay on them. Diets do not work, right? You can't say, when I was 14 years old, I ate very well. I don't understand why now at 43, I'm fat. I ate really good at 12. It doesn't work like that. It's not like losing your virginity where once you lose it, it's gone. Weight comes and goes, and it's something you constantly have to work at. The thing that really made me aware of this is my new normal became recovery. And I started applying the things that I was learning to stay off of heroin and cigarettes and all these other bad things. I started to apply it to my food. This stuff, it was killing me. And you could say whatever, you were healthy at any size. That's bullshit. That's a lie. Watch my 600-pound life and tell me these people are healthy at any size. They die. And if you're not healthy at 600 or 700, what's the cutoff? Where do you cross that line with health? Because you can't be healthy at every size. Because some of these people are tipping the scales at 1,000 pounds, and they are not healthy. But if you have this idea, healthy at any size, well, then you're healthy at any size. We all know that that's bull. So you need to find a new normal. What became a new normal for me, and this is what this particular podcast is about, is eating properly. I have a big salad in my refrigerator all the time. I have a big salad in my fridge. It lasts about 3 days. I have a big bowl. You probably don't a big bowl. And every 3 days I make a huge salad, right? And I use all different kinds of greens. I put peppers. I love peppers, onions, celery, all that kind of stuff, right? And I have good vinaigrette salad dressings that I use and stuff like that. And I eat salad twice a day. I love salad, right? And I eat fruit and vegetables, and I eat meat, and I measure these things out, and that's how I eat. I cook for myself every single day, and it's me. I don't have anybody doing it for me. My new normal is to make sure that I make time to do these things because it's important to me, because my health is important to me. It never was before. This is my new normal. My new normal is actually just giving a shit about myself, is caring about myself. And how I look is part of that. I don't kid myself anymore. I feel better, man. I had 38 jeans, right? My stomach, just to give you an idea, right? I remember measuring myself just before I started this. My stomach it was 56 inches. 56 inches. I didn't wear pants anymore. I wore sweatpants. Everywhere I went, it was sweatpants because I got tired of buying bigger and bigger and bigger jeans, right? And I had these 38s that were all these size 38 jeans. And I'm like, boy, if I could fit in those. Like when I started this whole process, I said, boy, it'd be great to be able to fit into those, right? And I'm wearing them now, the 30s, and they're too big. They're too big. And I love that, And people say, oh, you better watch. You're going to start looking sick and everything. And I don't do this to lose weight. And that's something I learned at Bright Line Eating. I don't have a number in my head. I just eat right every day. I eat the right amount of calories. I eat the right amount of food. I eat the right measurements of food. And whatever weight I become, I become. The funny thing is I'm 191 pounds. I'm a pound away from not being obese anymore for my height, right? I'm 5'6". I say 5'7". I had a friend. She says, nah, you're 5'6". Anyway, I'm between 5'6" and 5'7". And maybe I'm shrinking as I get older. And my optimum weight is like 159 pounds. I'm 191 pounds. And I'm not saying I'm not comfortable at this, but I eat what I'm supposed to eat, and I will become my right body if I keep eating the way that I'm supposed to eat, and I exercise. But that's what this 75 Hard is about. And if you haven't known it, look. And I want to make this my new normal. And basically what it is for 75 days, you have to stick to a diet. You have to drink a gallon of water a day, which I think is probably going to be the hardest thing for me. I drink about a half a gallon now, but you got to drink a gallon of water a day. You got to read 10 pages of nonfiction a day, which isn't a problem. You have to adhere to a diet. I think I said that. You have to work out twice a day, 45 minutes per workout. And one of the workouts has to be outside. So you can go on Andy Frisella's website. He's got an app too. I paid. It was cheap too. The app was like $5, I think, and just $5, not $5 a month. But I think I paid $5 for the app. and to follow your progress and everything, to chart that. And you take a picture every day of your progress. And this is what I'm going to do. And I want to make this a new normal. And you can do these things. Like everybody, you think you're down, you get depressed. Like if you're suffering from depression, if you're looking at yourself and you say, Jesus, how do you get started? You get started just by doing it. You get started by making the abnormal normal. You start and you build a habit, right? It has to become a habit for you. It'll become a habit to get up and do the right thing. Me, I believe in prayer. I believe in meditation. These are things I do every day. I didn't do them before. I didn't. My prayer every day, and I'm going to tell you the truth. This is my prayer every day. Every day I went to sleep and my prayer was the same. This is when I was using drugs, at the end of my using. God, please kill me in my sleep. Please kill me in my sleep. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to wake up. Please kill me in my sleep. And every day I woke up, my prayer was the same then too. Please get me through another day, because here we go, back on that hamster wheel. Because my normal at that time, like I said, was drugs and cigarettes, eating poorly, treating myself horribly. Nobody treated me as bad as I treated myself. Nobody told me the bad things about myself as badly as I did. No matter what people may think of me or anything, it couldn't possibly top what I thought of myself, what I said to myself, how I treated myself. And I'm telling you right now, you can treat yourself better. And it all starts with this. It all starts with making the abnormal normal. So go ahead. It's little steps. You're not going to lose 100 pounds overnight, because those quick fixes, they don't work. I have friends that got the bypass, they got the balloon, they got the this, they got the that. Until you take care of what's going on between here and do it in a natural, normal way, making your abnormal normal, right? Learning how to eat better, learning how to take care of yourself, learning how to exercise, learning how not to smoke, learning how not to do drugs, learning how to live a better life. When you start doing these things, my man Stephen Covey talks about it, paradigm shifts. And you're going to shift these paradigms, and that abnormal is going to become normal. And I'm telling you right now, you can do this. You have the ability to do this. I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe everybody is capable of doing this. All you got to do, man, is reach out. And I'm here for you. My name is Dwight Gillespie. I want you to have a great day, a great week. And again, if you haven't done so already, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. By all means, make comments. If you think I'm crazy, I don't know what I'm talking about, you let me know and we can discuss it. But we discuss it like adults. We don't get nasty with one another, all right? Anyway, share this with your friends. If I said something that you liked, even if I didn't, say, look at what all this guy is. But share it. This way, we get the word around. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Dwight Gillespie. Have a wonderful day. Bye now.